want to go back to this spending bill because, it's, again, for me, it's treating the US dollar like monopoly money. So we got this $1.5 trillion spending bill. It increases
bipartisan,
non-defense
by the way.
spending. Yeah, well, everyone wants the credit when they're treating the US dollar like monopoly money. So it's universal sin. But the one thing that really bothered a lot of conservatives is that this bill included $13 billion to help the Ukrainian people. And, I do support that. I think it's a strategic investment because we have to keep Russia out of our backyard with NATO. But I think that the hypocrisy of, in the same breath and in the same bill, that the Custom and Border Protection, the CBP, saw a cut in their overall spending of nearly $500 million. So you have American tax dollars going over to defend Ukraine's border. Meanwhile, our own border protection is being cut by $500 million. So what is there any accountability for this, Dave? I mean, how can anyone spin that?
I don't think you can spin it, to be honest. And look, the border is a real problem. As I've said, one of Barack Obama's most unheralded successes was that when he left office, border crossings were at a 50-year low because he was known as the deporter in chief. But as a Democrat, he could do that and not get the pushback of the Republicans. So this was a crisis that Donald Trump created, and Joe Biden definitely exacerbated. There's no question that he made it worse. Now he's tried to backtrack and pull out some of the few bright spots in the Trump policy, like the stay in Mexico policy, for example. But I see no reason to cut border security, and I don't know what it is. I think a lot of it is, frankly, Democrats don't want to have always border security because they feel that if more people can come in the country, that's going to be more voters. And again, immigration, I know this sounds simplistic, but the reason we're the only industrialized country that doesn't have an immigration policy is because Democrats want the votes, Republicans want the cheap labor. That's a little simplistic, but that's historically been true. Now it's a little more complicated in reality because, as we're finding out, a lot of these immigrants tend to be more pragmatic voters. And when certain parties go too far to the left, they're going to stick to the center. And that's why I've put up a huge red flag for Democrats many times. Look at what's happening to the black vote. Look what's happening to the Latino vote. They voted for a higher percentage for Trump. And this is someone, to put it mildly, who called them rapists and drug dealers. So they weren't going towards Trump. They were being repelled by the Democrats. So I see no reason for it at all. I think it's bad policy.